First, before I get into this video, shout out to two people in particular. First, Go Professor and Micah for sending me this. I wasn't able to open up one link, but somebody else sent me the same exact story on another platform, and I was able to open the link there. So shout out to both of you. Now, this is a historical Stragtales video that's on my channel. At least I believe it is. Because this is the first Stragtales that I am doing that both Strags are mother and daughter. I think we can look at the picture and tell who's the mother and who's the daughter. But we can both tell that they have engaged in some Strag behavior. And I don't know what the hell happened to the daughter's neck, but both of them are in need of some chapstick, some Vaseline for them lips. But anyway, these two names is Dominique and Shana Decree. Shana is the mother and Dominique is the daughter. Shana is 45 and Dominique is 19. And these two right here have been sentenced to life in prison after admitting that they murdered 5 of their relatives, including 2 9-year-old girls who happen to be twins. Let's get into it. More than 18 months after they were found lying in a cramped apartment amid the bodies of their relatives, a Bucks County mother and daughter on Monday pled guilty but mentally ill to first-degree murder in a deal that will imprison them for life but spare them the possibility of the death penalty. Capping a bizarre saga, Shana and Dominique Decree entered their pleas in the Doylestown courtroom of President Judge Wallace H. Bateman, who told the two the harm they caused was unimaginable. This is horrible and tragic because I do believe the two of you have expressed remorse, Bateman told the Decrees as he sentenced each to 5 consecutive terms of life in prison. Unfortunately, that does not bring them back. You can't say sorry and expect people to move on with their lives. Addressing both Bateman and their relatives in the courtroom, both women offered tearful apologies. The hardest thing for me to do is to decide who to say I'm sorry to first, Shana Decree said. To my family, I'm sorry for taking away these beautiful souls in such a horrible manner. Dominique Decree, through heavy sobs, said her actions will haunt her for the rest of her life. I'm so sorry for everything that happened, and I truly don't understand why it happened. A caseworker from Bucks County Children's and Youth Services paid a visit to the Decree's family apartment in Mooresville on February 25, 2019. Inside the basement dwelling, the worker found the bodies of Shana Decree's children, Naira Smith, age 25, and Damon Decree Jr., age 13, as well as Shana's sister, Jamila Campbell, age 42, of Trenton, and Campbell's twin daughters, Imani and Erica Allen, both age 9. Shana Decree, age 47, and Dominique Decree, age 21, were lying unresponsive in a bedroom and were taken to a nearby hospital. During later interviews with police, the two gave conflicting stories of what had transpired in the apartment, which had been thrown into disarray apparently after a prolonged struggle. The basic details, however, remain the same. Everyone in the apartment, including Campbell's young daughters, wanted to die and had been talking about suicide, the two told police. Autopsies conducted on the victims revealed that all but Campbell had been asphyxiated. The eldest victim had died from strangulation, according to the county coroner. During Monday's hearing, Deputy District Attorney Christopher Reeves said the killings took place over the course of 3 days. After the two suspects were arrested, court-appointed psychologists and psychiatrists concluded both suffer from severe mental illness, including schizoid personality disorder, major depressive disorder, and PTSD. Both had sought mental health treatment throughout their lives with varying success. Dominique started as young as 5, according to her attorney John J. Fierravanti Jr. At the time of the killings, Shana Decree had grown more isolated and was suffering from delusion, said her lawyer Krista Dunleavy. She believed the world was ending and there were demons in her house and she had to obey them. Her family tried to help her, Dunleavy said, but the delusions were too strong. Since the killings, both suspects have expressed horror and remorse at what they had done, their attorney said. Reeves and prosecutors agreed, leading to the plea deal. Dealing with this case does not invoke the kind of righteous anger you would think of when you become a prosecutor, Reeves said after the hearing. We did not fight to right wrongs on this case. There's no way we could right these wrongs. What we tried to find was the closest we could to justice, and hope and pray we got pretty close. Family members of the defendants who attended Monday's hearing expressed both sorrow and anger. Damon Decree Sr., the father of Dominique and Damon Jr., spoke on the pain of losing 2 children, pain that he said drove him to the attempt of suicide. The bottom line is, I didn't do the number one job as a parent. I didn't keep him safe, he said of Damon. I may not have been the best dad, but no one deserves this. Ronald Smith, father of Naira, similarly shared his grief and frustration through a statement read by Reeves in court. In it, he wrote of his daughter's plans to marry and his anticipation of that day. As you can see, she didn't get to do this because her mother and sister had other plans, Smith said. They treacherously took 5 beautiful lives off of the face of the earth. That's sad. The whole situation is sad. And this goes back to the discussion of mental illness not really being discussed in our community as much as it should be. This is one of those stories where mental illness is clearly at play here, because they were able to prove that both of them had a mental illness, or and they were able to tell you what their illnesses were. They said they were basically schizophrenic. And they actually had the diagnosis. It's not like one of those stories, oh, they said they have a mental illness and you have to try to figure out what it is that they have. Because like I always say, mental illness is varying cases of mental illnesses that are around. It is not just, oh, we can't just say they have a mental illness and that's just it. Like, what do they actually have? With that being said, I still really can't bring myself to feel too bad for them right here on the screen. Because at the end of the day, they still slaughtered a good chunk of their family. I'm like this, if they knew they had some illnesses and they were seeking help, that's a good thing. They were seeking treatment. They should have been in a place where it was just them. They should have not had to been around many other people. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised that they did, considering that they had a mental illness that was proven, and they had the documents to prove it, that they did not put them in some kind of a mental facility, like an asylum. Because they'll be quick to throw a PC up in there in a heartbeat, like at no matter what. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have no mental illness. It's like with John Lee Coward. He tried to claim he had a mental illness. We know damn well that sick-ass man did not have no mental illness. He meant to do what he did. Because they can never tell you what the hell they have. They say, oh, they had a mental illness, and we're supposed to just believe that. But I do offer my condolences to the family for the loss of their loved ones. I can honestly say this is my first time hearing about this story right here. Like, this is my first time actually really hearing about this. And I have to say this. Because now knowing they actually had a mental illness that they had that was diagnosed and they have documents, this is actually one of the few Strag Tales videos where I'm not going all the way in. Now, they had just flat out just killed them just because I would have really, really went in on them. Notice in my tone, I'm not going completely in on them, but I'm not sitting here taking away accountability. At the end of the day, they still murdered their family. At the end of the day, they killed children and they killed adults. Like, they slaughtered pretty much most of their family, like in one fell swoop. So I cannot say or take accountability away from that, the fact that they did do that. But they do actually have something going on with them. And you can always tell when something is wrong with somebody when you look at their pictures sometimes. And I'm looking at the daughter's pictures, and it's like, I don't know what's going on with her neck, but it looks like, I don't know if something was around her neck, because those look like rope burns to me. And I'm looking like around their mouths. Like, you can tell something is clearly wrong with both of them. And reading that they had these issues and these actual mental illnesses on the books, I can clearly see it now. But at the end of the day, they gotta pay, face the time that they're going to get. And they're very lucky that they were lenient to not give them the death penalty for what they did. And I think they took into consideration of their mental capacity, which is probably why they took the death penalty off the table. But y'all let me know what y'all think.